Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com.
My name is Dan Midkiff, and I live in Oneida, Kentucky, and I've been working with Dottie Bell on this project now for around 13 months, and we actually started talking about it several years ago, and we felt it was important to introduce oxen to an area that used to have oxen and worked them for up until around 1930 when other modern conveniences took over their place. We thought this was important for the young people, and we've kind of concentrated on 4-H and FFA and young organizations, schools, and we hope they will take advantage of coming up and seeing these animals that helped develop this country from the East Coast to the West Coast, north and south, during the early settlement of the country. Oxen were first introduced to the States in 1624, and they've been here ever since. And in Maine, there were oxen there before the horse came into it. It was after the Revolutionary War that horses actually came into the Maine area. So we feel like it's important to part of our history, and we hope people will come out and see these wonderful animals and how they work, how they're trained, and talk to the teamsters and visit with them. We're going to have a very, I think, varied program, obstacle courses, plowing, trolley rides, log pulling. One of the features, of course, is a big log cart which has 10-foot wheels on it, and at 1 o'clock each day of the 4 days we'll be hooking it up at 1 o'clock, and you can come and watch the hookup, observe the teams, how they handle the cart, and the rest of the afternoon and evening and mornings will be devoted to various activities with the teams, and the teamsters encourage you to come up and talk to them and ask them about the oxen, and some of them may even give you an opportunity to walk along with them when they're driving. And in coming to the park, if you've never been here before, this is a very historical part of Kentucky, and especially central Kentucky. This was a standard-bred farm and a thoroughbred farm for many years. It was owned by individuals and heirs of those individuals. The park was, I think, purchased by the state, I believe, in the late 70s, and developed and actually opened in 1978. And Mr. John Nicholson, the director, and his staff have certainly been very helpful in organizing this project, and we give them much thanks for their help, and we're grateful to all the staff here at the park. Their cooperation has been wonderful.
We published our first draft horse wall calendar over 40 years ago, and every year since we've found the most interesting and beautiful photos of a variety of draft horse breeds performing a wide assortment of activities, from hauling families on a sleigh ride to feeding cattle, performing before an appreciative crowd, or preparing a seedbed for planting. Our photos capture the power and grace of these gentle giants. Made in the USA of the best materials, These calendars are wire-bound to lay flat against the wall and feature large date squares for recording important events or appointments. They're only $16.95 postage paid. Prices go down as you buy more. Visit www.ruralheritage.com or call toll-free 1-877-647-2452. That's www.ruralheritage.com or 1-877-647-2452.
Hi, my name is Dottie Bell. I'm down here at the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington, Kentucky. We are celebrating History Heritage Days here at the park with 8 teams of working steer and oxen that have come from Maine. I myself and my husband have Thunder Hill Farm, which we are in Waterford, Maine, and we have 7 other teamsters that are from our area in Maine. We are here to demonstrate to the public what our oxen can do, our working oxen using a stone boat, a log cart, an ox cart. We've been fortunate enough to have a set of big wheels come in from Indiana that were refurbished by an Amish family. That these wheels were used in the early 1900s, late 1800s in the woods in the Midwest to bring out big, huge logs. And we will be hitching the 8 teams to that to demonstrate that, as well as our other ox carts, a 4-wheel wagon, a single ox, the use of a single ox with a log scoot, and a little bit of pulling, explaining how our pulling contests are run up in Maine at our agricultural fairs. Everyone that is on the team has been involved with 4-H in the state of Maine. We have myself, I'm a parent, both of my boys went through the Brass Knobs 4-H Working Steer program. We have the 4-H leader on board, Mr. Winslow. His daughter Marissa is still an active 4-H member. Lydia Boutard is on board. She is a 4-H alumni, as well as Jason Kelsey Sanborn. Dan Boutard, of course, his daughters went through the Brass Knobs 4-H Working Steer program. So we've all been very involved with the 4-H program in Maine, which is a very popular program.
What does working with like a pair of young calves and bringing them up for a young person, what is the kind of thing does that maybe teach that young person?
That's a good question, and watching from my own experience with my own children who are now adults, they're very responsible. Their work ethic is above their peers. They take on a job, they problem solve, and working with 2 animals attached together, you need to problem solve. You need to figure out what you're going to do. If you get in a problem, what are you going to do to get yourself out of that problem? And working with these animals, especially as young calves, there's a lot of problems that the youngsters have to work out. The first suggestion would be, well, for in New England, the first suggestion you say to anybody is find the 4-H clubs. Join 4-H. A lot of kids will join a 4-H club, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a working steer club. They could join a dairy club or a general club and still have their working steers. And the clubs that are working steer oriented welcome the children, the 4-H members from those other clubs in. It's just Maine is a very big state, and it's hard to get to a meeting place sometimes. And just often, if that's not a possibility, just taking one calf, one steer, a bull calf, and start just leading it around. Watch others, watch whenever you can, and do a little, if you can find a book, a 4-H manual, reading on it, and see what you can do. And the biggest thing is we all start when they're babies. You bring them home. The dairy farmers, they don't really get much for their bull calves, so they're very happy to sell 2 bull calves to any of us because they know we're going to train them and bring them up as a steer team. And so we start them from usually 2 or 3 days old, as soon as they've had the colostrum from their mom. And then you're bottle feeding them, and when you're bottle feeding them, you're teaching them, gee, ha, back up. And they just learn, and as they grow, they have the respect, and you have the respect for them, and it's just a partnership.
Hi, my name is Mark Winslow. I'm from Falmouth, Maine. I've been driving cattle for 40 years. This is my pair of cattle, Tom and Jerry. They're a Keen Ear Holstein cross. They'll be 3 years old this month in November. I've got them trained pretty well to do handy this. Today we're going to do something a little different that I've been training them for the last year. We're going to drive them with a pair of lines, and how I do that is I have a brass nose clip here that we use. It's spring loaded. We open it up and we'll lock it into their nose, one for each steer. And then between I got this piece of leather. One is just a bridle extension, and the two pieces of leather hooked together. So what I do is I'll open up the nose leads. I'll go up to my steers. Hopefully they'll stand here. Whoa, Jerry. Oh, Jerry, come up. Just snap them in like so. Right here, Tom. The first time they did this, they didn't like it too well. It was taking time. I had to back them up against a building or something so they wouldn't back up onto me. But once I get the nose leads in like this here, they pretty much know what's going to happen next as far as going to drive with lines. When I first started doing this, they wasn't really too keen of it. It took a couple times to get them to get adjusted to the nose leads. But once they get used to it, they're all set with that. They've done this for a year or so now they're getting more and more used to it every time I do it. So once I get the nose leads in, I pull the heads around here. I've got these two lines, these leather lines I have here. What they are just 3/4 inch lines, about 12-15 feet long with a snap ring on the end of it. And I snap right into the line, into the ring like that. But first, let me back up a little bit. Traditionally, when the lines come across, they have a ring on the end of the yoke. Where I changed yokes so often, I had this little strap made up with two rings on it. I got a larger ring and a smaller ring. So what I do is take this ring here, put it over the bow, run my lead line through this smaller ring here. Then I'll snap it into the nose lead like so. So once when I drive them, it's pulling off the side like this here. Now I'll do the other side, the off steer. Once they're going to run it through the small ring, and I'll put it through the nose like that there. So once I get that hooked up there, I can drive them there. When I started doing this, the hardest thing I had to do was, because traditionally you drive your cow from the side or the front. So now I'm driving in from behind, and the hardest thing I had to do was to teach them to go ahead with me being behind them. So that took a little bit of time to get used to that. And the other thing I had to do was make them walk into crowds of people, because they're not traditionally like to drive into crowds of people. So if we're at a fair, local fair or something like that, I just drive them into a bunch of people, all these people telling them they're there, and they get used to going with that. So once that's done there, I'll hook them around. I'm going to hook onto this wagon that's behind them. I use a stick a little bit just to touch them up if I have to, but most of the time it's pretty much by voice command and using the lines. Step up, Jerry. Jerry, step up. Tom, Jerry, step up. Come up. Ha. Come here, Tom. Ha, Jerry. Come here, Tom. Ha, Jerry. Step up, Tom. Tom, step up. G, Jerry. G. G, Jerry. G. G, Jerry. Tom, step up. G, Jerry. G. G, Jerry. G. Woo, woo. Back up, Tom, Jerry. Woo. Woo. I'm going to pull my T-pin like so. And I'm going to drive them around again. So, here, Tom. Ha, Jerry. Ha, Jerry. Jerry, step up. Jerry, step up. Jerry, step up. Here, Tom. Ha, Jerry. Around here. Here, Tom. Ha, Jerry. Step up. Jerry, step up. Step up. Step up, Tom. Jerry, step up. Step up, Tom. Tom, step up. G, Jerry. G, Jerry. Tom, step up. Come on. Tom, Jerry, step up. Step up, Jerry. Jerry, step up. Step up, Tom. Jerry, come up. Come up. Woo, woo. Back, Tom. Jerry, back. Jerry, back up. Jerry, back. Back, Tom. Tom, put out. Whoa. Tom, put out. G, Jerry. G, Jerry. G. G, Jerry. Come around here. Put out, Tom. G, Jerry. G, Jerry. G, Jerry. G. Put out, Tom. Tom. Tom, put out. 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 Put out. Put out. Ooh, back. Tom, Jerry, back up. Back. Jerry, put in. Jerry, put in. Back up, Tom. Jerry, back. Back. Woo. Woo. Step up, Tom. Tom, step up. Tom, step up. Tom, step up. Step up, Tom, step up. Whoa. Step up, Tom. Jerry, Jerry. Jerry, step up. Step up, Tom. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Back, Tom. Jerry, back. Whoa, whoa. So I got the T-pin all hooked in there. I'll set them up and then I'm going to drive around, hook them, I'll get on the wagon, I'll drive around, do a figure 8 and I'll back up with them. Too much going on. It's all right. Tom, Jerry, come on. G, Jerry, G. G, Jerry, G. G, Jerry, G. Come up. G, Jerry. G. Around here. Come up, Tom, Jerry, come up. Come here, Tom, hard, Jerry. Come here, Tom, hard, Jerry. Come here, Tom. Jerry, step up. Come here, Tom, hard, Jerry. Put out, Tom. Come here, Tom, put out. Come here, Tom, put out. Hard, Jerry. Jerry. Step up, Tom. Come up, Tom. G, Jerry, G. All around here. Good boys. Come up, Tom, Jerry, come up. Come up, Tom, Jerry, come up. Come up, Tom, Jerry, come up. Whoa. Put in, Jerry. Jerry, put in. Jerry, put in. Jerry, put in. Put in, Jerry. Jerry, put in. Back up. Back, Tom, Jerry, back. Back up, Tom, Jerry, back. Back. Back, Tom, Jerry, back. Back. Back, Tom. Tom, put in. Back, Tom, Jerry, back. Back, Tom, Jerry, back. Back. Back, Jerry. Back, Jerry. G, Jerry. G. Back, Tom, Jerry, back. Back up, Tom, Jerry, back. Back up, Jerry, back. 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 Woo. Woo, 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 woo. As you see, they go pretty well. The hottest thing is, like I said, there's a lot of people around that kind of docile that way. It's not the fastest means of transportation, but they can do it. The reason I like doing it because it was a challenge. It's not a new thing. People used to drive cattle with lines all the time, probably in the olden days, and they didn't want to walk. They just get in and ride. A lot of times people can drive them without any lines at all, just use the voice commands from behind. I just do it because, you know, it's kind of a neat little thing to do, different. People kind of ask a lot of questions of how you do it and why you do it. And I mean, they make a nice team. They're going to be a nice big team when they grow up in another couple more years. They weigh about 3,600 pounds now. But it's a different thing. It's a new thing and whatever for me to do. So.
Yeah. Good. When will that show? March or April, I'm not sure yet.
Watch the gator up here too. Jig, yo.
Easy.
Now we gotta do a
Easy.
G-wheel pivot.
We're softening up for the weekend.
Good.
This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of back-to-the-land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website www.ruralheritage.com to shop online.